true hero for him.
No, one that we've seen time again give us performances. There's a little bit of a with the win, with the games and such, with the Requiem. So that is, you look over the game and he's got to be aware of stuff like Dusk Punch, the interrupt the shot. Things that he's going to play around though. With for Vega are very prioritizing SF, getting those. He's on the Radiance, he's going to have that advantage as well. Then getting maximum amount of this hero. So very nicely and nice for them to sneak it through. That's the final pick. Vici versus, I think the line this game is expected to be very much impacting those heroes count. I don't think we're anything less than to this one. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Vici is game, and well, as lanes, give it a cap if you want to let us know on the side. I want to pick a side.
The Vega squad, because I think they're like sons. I mean, you've got right.
Yeah, I've been.
You've casted where Vega
got once again solo back in mode,
and that can lead that.
We have to fight. Well, them.
How solo?
So you're trying. Oh, we're back.
Oh,
are we good?
Shit. We're out again. Oh, if we can get our game back on before stream 1.
Dream.
Everyone comes to us.
Own FY support there as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, trying to make the Wyvern play around the aggression of Vici. Yeah, should be something that we may see come out. But at the moment, yeah, so no one is obviously going to be able to face up against that mid lane combination of well, Super and FY on the Skyfalcon.
God, I love Ice. Seriously,
Ice,
I was actually looking in depth, like play by play, what some of the things that Ice does in the offlane. I think he's incredibly innovative in some of the things he does, and this isn't like hugely innovating or anything. He's just cutting the creep wave, but he's willing to make these kind of moves in order to win his lane. He thinks outside of the box a lot of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be something that we're going to see. Actually, trying to play his best around, but not ideally for the man, and Ice is certainly going to be a bit pasture run for his money in terms of getting the last hits top lane. What we got at the moment, well, Fenrir being chased down here by Solo Mag. Oh, it's the double shell, and you never really want to be playing around with 2 purple balls that spiky, and Fenrir is going to have to get the Shallow Grave out. He's going to be fine for the time being. Solo's not going to dive, but Burning is there, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, Solo, he's actually going to find FY here. He can stay on him. The Ion Shell is going to last a little while longer.
Oh, FY, yeah, I mean, this is the kind of aggression that we expect from Mag and Solo. This is the duo. This is the classic CIS duo that Vega, they're very lucky to have, because it just punishes the safe laner extremely hard when they're running it as a dual lane off lane.
Yeah, and forcing Fenrir into a level 1 Shallow Grave is not a great position, especially if they're going to be running a full defensive tri lane and do not have any pull opportunities. It means the supports are going to take a long time to get to level 2.
Absolutely, aggression everywhere. Mid lane, how's the CS looking? Well, at the moment, SF 9 for 2, 9 for 0. Not bad for the man, considering the fact that, well, Sky was there earlier. Obviously, we saw FY head up to the top lane. And I guess this middle lane is the fact that you've got to deal with this, the consistent acid spray spam, and it's not fun. I mean, no one just trying to kind of position himself outside of it, but the punches, they're kind of hurting, and no one's got to be careful. FY's coming back in, and I think this could potentially be first blood in cap, because no one...
Got that last hit as he was going
and
on
a
the
regen
cliff.
rune.
That's insane. The fact that he was able to get first blood, first bounty rune, regen rune on top of all of this. Super is just in one small, very small maneuver, one small decision by no one to run up into that river, ends up giving Super everything he needed.
Oh, I like they're going to go for a bit of the reverse aggro here. They go straight in with the Arctic Burnstone, the Splinter Blast connected as well as Super. He's super dead here. One more slap to the back and no one will find that. So they do get themselves a quick return kill on the out. Same time, top lane trying to move it on to Mag, but he has got the surge, gets himself back as well. So 1-1 on the board. Both of the mids dying, so but Vici obviously with the first blood.
And I think there's another big advantage is the fact that Ice is getting a 1 versus 1 matchup.
Yeah.
And he is getting a decent amount of farm, which you know Ice is going to be able to make good use of. Meanwhile, alternatively, I feel like the Night Stalker, because he was forced out of lane earlier, will not have a very credible first nighttime. But we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when that comes around, what level are we seeing at the moment with the Night Stalker? Actually, well, just level 2 at the moment, yeah. So.
Yeah, it was that attempted kill on Fenrir and then
Yes.
the harassment on FY that he got so low he had to go all the way back to base from there. Which ended up losing him a lot of time in lane. Of course, it's good for Mag, a lot of levels, because of that solo experience for him.
Oh, moving in on Super again. These slows beautiful from the Splinter Blast, the Arctic Bird as well. They try and chase him, but no one's actually forced back here by the aggression of FY. Second Splinter Blast from Shoma the Slayer. He turns around and he'll take down Skywrath. So FY does manage to fend no one off, stopping him from getting the kill on Super, but it does cost him his life as Shoma comes up with the cleanup.
I completely forgot that the siege creep was no longer magic immune. So
Yeah,
the fact
so
he
he
was
can
able
bounce
to,
it off it.
yeah, he throws the Splinter Blast onto the siege creep
Yeah.
and ends up getting the kill because of that.
6.85.
Brilliant play, and I
He
also
loves
think
it.
there's also a chance that FY maybe forgot about that too.
Now he's going to let his last out that one.
no way.
Solo.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, what level is he at the moment? He's level 3, I'd imagine, on this Night Stalker. No, still just 2, so it's only the level 1 Void. But he can try and move in with no one as well. There we go, wraps around, and he's going to go in with the slaps here. Super takes the Void to the face, and now no one's trying to close the gap. He's moving in, he's got to line up the razors, and he will. Solo will be able to find the vision, and no one gets that one bang on. So a nice kill there for the man. Ice actually coming in with a hate rune, and this is a level 5 Tusk against a level 2. Yeah, not a chance in hell here for the Night Stalker, and Ice just gives him the rundown. And should be able to find it. Solo looking for the Jukes, Is he going to be able to find it? No. No. Shards will finish off the job, and they do find themselves the kill. But nonetheless, they do once again losing Super on that Alchemist in the mid lane. He needs to be finding his farm, and he's not going to be finding it when he's dead, Cap.
Yeah, that was a huge kill for the Night Stalker to be a part of. Unfortunately, still not yet level 3, but trading away the level 2 Night Stalker in exchange for the level 5 mid Alchemist. Great play from Vega Squadron. And they're already showing some of that early aggression they were talking about. I mean, Sioma repeatedly visiting this middle lane to put pressure on the Alchemist, the rotations of the Night Stalker.
Oh, bottom lane. FY turns up, but he didn't want to. Vega just missed a pass. He went in with the Remnant spamming and was enough to nuke down some of the squishiest guy. You know, once you haven't got that Ancient Seal available, if it's already been used, Ember's just going to jump on you and you're going to melt.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be necessarily a terrible idea if they could have this Skywrath Mage in the bottom lane. It looks like dive mid.
Yeah, they'll set it up with the Void Slime, trying to get in as well with the rest, but the TP reactions are there. They haven't quite got enough damage to deal with Super's regen. Now with a very aggressive snowball straight across the 3, the punch, killing no one. They might even find more as well. They've dropped down the acid spray. Shoma will sit there and heal up for the time being in the corner break, but they should be able to just bring it down with the right clicks, and they certainly will. A second kill for the side of Vici Gaming in the mid lane. Only Solo surviving. And we are seeing VG deal very nicely with the aggression that we expected from Vega.
Yeah, I think this is coupled with exactly what I was about to say, is that Ice, once he picks up his level 6, can rotate around the map, and that can leave that bottom lane open for FY, who obviously his level 6 can be very critical, especially in conjunction with the Tusk.
Look at this Ancient Seal. Is it going to last long enough for the kill? It looks like it will. Oh, he hasn't got any remnants out because he used them earlier. They've only just now come off cooldown, but here's Shoma turning up with the cold embrace. He's going to save Patch for the time being, and he's just going to use the remnants to go in. He wants the kill. He's going to get it. Takes down Ice there on the Tusk. Now we'll see if there's a turnaround. Femra's coming on the Dazzle, but Pasha and Shoma, they're going to be fine. And again, we're just seeing the team play from both times. This time the Wyvern turning up and saving the backside of Pasha.
Yeah, really well done. The cold embrace chose coming in at the perfect time, and Sioma is actually... He's already level 5.
He's been involved in a lot. He's been playing really well. He's been towards the mid. He's been all over the map wherever he's been needed. Some really nice Winter Wyvern performance from the man. And well, in the jungle, Mag.
Oh, Mag, are you going to take some of this, you cheeky bastard?
Look at this. Yeah, I'll have that and I'll have that, he says. And Super's like, hang on. Is this Reborn? I'm not getting the money. I'm not getting the money, guys. What's going on? Oh, hang on. I'm losing life. What's happening? Yep, okay. Super's been... That was... Well, Mag. He's going to be very happy with that bit of play.
Just imagine if he got level 6 off of that and then throws down the wall and potentially kills the Alex.
That would have been so BM. Oh, hello, Pasha. He should be fine here. He's got, once again, Solo backing him up this time. They won't try and reinitiate, as they haven't quite got the firepower to do so.
Yeah, part of it was Pasha actually attempted the chains against the Tusk and missed it, so if they still had the chains, I think they could have turned and gone on to Ice, and who knows what happens from there, but... Missed opportunity, perhaps, for Vega.
Yeah, I mean, one thing whilst all this action is going on, and one person we haven't really talked about, burning on his gyrocopter, having a pretty good time in terms of the CS department. He's having a fine old lane up here. I mean, Mag's obviously been getting a bit out the lane as well, but he hasn't been able to do anything to stop Burning from farming. 53 CS, 15 to 9. No one getting caught out by a snowball. Nice side with the War's punch as well. Shards forward, but now the Remnant 4 from Pasha. They want to try and turn with a slight searing change to catch out Ice. No one's going to be able to bottle up. Now Pasha just giving the tusk to run down here with the Flame Guard. Will be able to find the kill, and that's going to put your Ember now on a killing spree. So even though the Gyro's farm may be better in terms of the CS, Pasha's had a lot more involvement in the action, and that's going to really show it on the borders. As we can see, Pasha's keeping up, and if not just ahead of the Gyro in terms of net worth.
Yeah, it's certainly going to show an experience, which is critically important for an Ember Spirit to get the maxed out chains as well as Flame Guard early on, because you have so much offensive power in that 15 to 20 minute marker. You can establish as much, if not sometimes more, control over the early game than a Gyro can. I mean, Gyro's kind of looked at as one of the most aggressive carries who can, like CDC, establish that early on into TI. What the Gyrocopter can do when you rotate it out of the lane in 15 minutes and put it with the team, but something similar can be said about the Ember Spirit.
I mean, one kind of glaring issue though here for Vega is the fact that they haven't really been able to slow down that out too much. We've just seen him in the jungle. He's closing in on that relic gold at 9 minutes in. I mean, that's got to be an issue here, because you look at Vega's lineup. Yes, they've got the aggression, but say out gets what, 1 or 2 items online, he's going to be very hard to deal with.
I think it's going to be even worse because Mag, I don't think he's in any trouble here at the top lane. But I believe Burning will go. I don't know, I kind of feel like the Helma Dominator build, I'm not a gigantic fan of it, but because the fact that you have both the Gyrocopter and the Alchemist that can farm up Ancients, I think in a certain regard, you need to get that extra bit of farm on the map, just because you have 2 relatively greedy heroes like this.
Burning, smoked up with that quad, but now no one is shoving his banner. They're going to drop down the Winter's Curse straight away. And with the raises, bring him low, but the Ancient Seal's there to stop the final one. Pasha comes in, remitting forward. They'll get the 1 kill. The cooldown's there, but the core embrace is enough to top no one back up. He's going to be fine, and now it's FY that's got to be on the retreat. They've lost Burning. They may lose more as well, but Fenrir moves in with a shallow grave. There'll be a TP in from Ice on the tusk. Can he get there in time to help? There'll be the snowball. He picks up FY, saves him, stops him from taking down the Flame Guard, and he's going to be fine. Ice saving FY there. Now no one turns forward with the raises. Bringing Ice low. Pasha looks for the change, won't connect. Splinter Blast flies through, but the heal from Fenrir is enough to keep Tusk safe. So they do lose Burning, but some nice play once again from Vici there to make sure they don't lose anything more off the back of Vega's aggression.
Another interesting thing is going to be the SF's builds. No one who's... I want to re-emphasize the fact that I feel like he's probably one of the best, if not the best, SF in the European scene. He's actually going Morbid Mass, so no early mech. That's obviously going to be the Darkseer's job, most likely. And he instead can go for like an SNY build. I don't think you build the Morbid Mask in anything. I think it's just decent sustain early on that helps you keep up your... Oh no, he's actually going to go the full Helmet Dominator. Wow.
Alright. Okay.
I thought just the Morbid Mask and then into the early SNY. Then again, the armor's really good from Helmet Dominator,
the dazzle and the out, it's true. Well, bottom lane, there's going to be Ancient Seal to set this one up. They close the gap with the snowball and the solo. I don't think he's going to be able to get himself out of this one, or maybe with the nighttime speed. Now, in comes the magical missiles of FY, and that will be able to bring down solo. So they get themselves a kill on the bottom lane there, Vici. As we saw that out, as he actually got the recipe gold yet, I know it was very close. So that is your Radiance now online, 11.5 minutes, not bad at all. There's actually a movement from Vega. It's unfortunate for them that they weren't able to get him before he picks up the recipe, but nonetheless, they should be able to find the kill, and they do. No one will pick that up, so more money into the bank of the Shadow Fiend. So they are killing him, but he's got that Radiance timing, and we already know just from previous games how Super's going to be able to use that to keep himself almost certainly on top of the net worth board, unless Vega can amp up this aggression to the next level, because no one's still sitting very close. 6.3k on your Shadow Fiend, it's not bad at all, and as you keep saying and praising, he knows exactly what he's doing on this hero.
What a dumb hero. How can you get a Radiance in 12 minutes and also die 3 times? In 12 minutes. That just doesn't seem like it should be possible, but whatever. Super's able to pull it out thanks to, in part, some stacks. And now time is going to be kind of ticking for Vega Squadron. They're facing up against the Radiance, but the thing is, you can't let the Alchemist go full Naga Siren. No. That's the real danger, right?
If he gets a Manta and an Octarine.
Yeah, Manta, Boots of Travel, Octarine. That's when Alchemist is really dangerous, so... Vega Squadron got to keep up the pressure and they got to take down these towers, and that is
Dire's top
slightly
tower
problematic
has fallen.
because Vega Squadron, they don't have the greatest tower-taking team in the world. They especially don't have very good high ground. The best high ground that they have is in the SF, but Ember Spirit is particularly
bottom
bad
tower is
at
under attack.
being aggressive and going for objectives.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the one thing we were looking at when it was the drafting stage, just the fact that this goes late, and Vici, as long as they can hold their base, it is indeed going to become just harder and harder for Vega to try and take it. But they continue to do what they need to. Be aggressive. They're looking to try and take the tier 1 mid. They've already found the one top. Should be able to get this. A weave comes down. It's just Fenrir hanging in the sidelines. There is some backup moving in for Vici Gaming, but they're not going to be there in time to stop this. So Vega will find themselves another tower. And I do kind of like this as well from the Ember. A lot of Ember Spirits nowadays, we do see them just go for kind of the Aquila bots rush. You know, here Pash has realized we're probably going to need to be a little bit more active, so he picks up the drums on the way. And that's exactly what you need to do when you're playing in a lineup like Vega against a team like Vici.
I do want to emphasize something, that Vega Squadron, while I think the impetus is on them to actually push and try and take objectives before the Alchemist gets too big, it is potential for them to go late game, but it has to be like super late game, where the Alchemist's gold advantage doesn't mean anything.
But
right?
Super's playing for
that's
Vici.
That's like
you know, so I mean, in terms of super late game, Vici have got that covered with their out. I mean,
but yes, the super late game, the
super late game.
It isn't as strong once he gets 6 slot and he can't really do much with the Aghanim Scepter, because then you're facing up against an Ember Spirit and an SF, and I do believe those cores, if net worth is even, is stronger late game than the Vici Gaming one. But the big thing for me right now is whether or not Vici Gaming can establish tempo with the Tusk Skyreth Mage. I mean, we saw their duo already doing a lot of work, putting pressure on the Ember Spirit, getting the kill on the Night Stalker earlier, and that was pre-level 6 on the Skyreth Mage. Now that they have Mystic Flare, their burst potential is insane.
Yeah, and we can see them maybe go for something here on the bottom lane. They've got 3 heroes here trying to move in. Just Solo and Shoma here at the moment. And Burning backed up by both FY and Ice. On the top lane, you've just got Super, who's continuing to farm, pushing out the lane. What's he got coming out now on top of the Radiant? So he's got his bots as well now. So he is managing to get those key items online. Well, he's going to be a right little bugger when it comes to getting that farm efficiency across the map. In terms of Vega dealing with it, but Vega, now they've got the mech picked up here on Mag's Darkseer. So we very well may look to see them try and go for the fights. You're going to have no one working towards his S and Y on top of the helmet. He's, as we've said earlier, keeping up very nicely with the farm of the Alchemist, being very efficient across the map, just 700 behind him, which is not bad considering this man's had the Radiance now for a few minutes. But 8-5, 15.5 minutes in, it definitely still feels like it could go either way at this point. I don't think there's really any clear winner at the early stages.
Yeah, we're going to hit a very big peak for Vega Squadron here quite soon, and this is where they need to take the rest of the tier 2 towers and pick up Roshan. When the SF finishes up S and Y, and they may wait for BKB, though I'm not quite sure if that's perhaps too much, but they'll have the pretty statted up SF, and they'll also have a mech on Darkseer.
Okay, and I think VG themselves, they say, right, well, we want to kind of hit them before they really hit that peak of getting the BKB and the SF as well. They're going to go straight in. Snowball onto Solo. He does get out the night time here for the burst with the Weave as well. The physical damage. Now the call out. Solo. Cold embrace from Shum is not going to save him. And now the slow connects with the Wyvern as well. VG, are they going to move for more here? Well, no, actually, they're preparing for Pasho. Remnants forward, trying to burst out Ferrer and will get it. Now with the Winter's Curse as well, they'll find Burning as well. It's a turnaround from Vega as they take down 2, and they should be able to get 3 as well here. Chasing down FY. No one closing the gap. He'll have a few raises in a minute, but he might be able to just do it with the right clicks here as he closes forward. There's the right click, there's the raise, beautifully calculated there by the SF, and they take a 3-for-1 off the back of Vici Gaming smoke, and that was not the smoke that they were looking for at all, Cap.
No, certainly not. The fact that they ran into one of the tougher heroes to kill very quickly, the Night Stalker is actually quite tanky because he's got a lot of physical armor, but then the Winter Wyvern was there as well.
Aggression. I mean, Passion wants to try and go for it. There's going to be the
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
You know, we've got to be careful. But look at this aggression from Vega. They pop the mech. Vermeer's got to run. This might in fact be a team wipe here, but where's Burning? No, he's not going to turn up. He says I'm out of this one. Vermeer will be able to get away. Now with TP actually coming in from FY, they might want to try and go back into this, but they've lost the tier 1. Vega is still pretty healthy, but it looks like they'll play it safe. They're back off. They don't want to get caught out by Vici's return there. But
what the hell happened? That wasn't a battle fury on the Ember Spirit. I mean, he has a good amount of damage. I almost feel like the wall spawned two different illusions. Like, I think maybe Ice like threw out his shards or something at the same time.
And it just exploded.
Yeah, so he ends up killing the illusions that the wall produces at first, and then once the illusion dies, right, then it does another tick. Right? It almost felt like something weird like that happened, where, because they just took so much insane amount of damage in such a small period of time with that, like, vacuum raise and sleight of fist combo. But that was quite nasty, and boy, Vega Squadron, this game could be over in another, like, 10 minutes, potentially. I
mean,
don't think
look at
it
the
will
graph
be,
cap.
but...
It's just gone. It's, I mean, that was the pause, I'm guessing. I was going to say that can't quite be right, that flat line, but it certainly steered off quite violently towards the side of Vega after that fight. That was quite something, and it's Ember Spirit, I've got to say, at the moment, you know, 5 kills, 4 assists, he hasn't died at all. Pasha's been playing this hero really nicely, and he's been pushing it to the limits as well. Yeah,
and he's actually going to have a really fast Battle Fury, considering the fact that he has to go Manta first against a Skywrath Mage, if this keeps up. Normally, when you're forced into a Manta as an Ember Spirit, you're talking about like a 35, maybe even 40-minute Battle Fury. It's really late most of the time, because without the Battle Fury, obviously, you're super slow at farming. Much slower than you normally would be, but at the same time, the Manta is essential against these strong silences.
I mean,
this game's going really well for him.
It is. In terms of burning, obviously, as the carry, he's not really been involved. He's not been involved across the map a lot. He's only been involved in 1 kill. He has died 2 times. I mean, he certainly hasn't had that kind of impact that we see a lot of other gyrocopters playing, you know, where they look for those mid-game fights and involvements. And in terms of playing the farm game as well, he is slipping behind here. So, I mean, what's the plan here for burning in terms of kind of stepping it up? He's finished his S&Y, but I still feel he needs a fair bit of time, really, to be relevant and to be scary against the lineup of Vega when they come running at them.
Yeah, for sure. I think they do need a lot of time for Burning to kind of catch up, for Super to establish his dominance as an alchemist via split push. But I almost feel like if we were watching, despite the fact that I feel like Vici Gaming is a better team, if it wasn't Vici Gaming, but CDEC that were playing this, and they use the gyrocopter aggressively like they normally do, that CDEC would be in a winning position against Vega Squadron in this exact sort of game. I think Vici Gaming are not playing correctly with their gyrocopter. Given the fact that Vega Squadron are very clearly meeting the Ice and FY aggression with just overwhelming numbers.
And they're going to try and go for it again. This didn't go well for Vici last time, so much going to be this spot. They found the same target. It's Solo. Is the reaction going to be there for the rest of the time? It looks like it will be. They've got the Winter's Curse onto Ice. The Mystic Cloud Solo, it's just not enough damage. This Night Stalker's too tanky. He'll try and walk it off. It gets himself out of the cooldown. Rocket Barrage isn't even enough to bring him down. There'll be the mech hit from Max. Solo's going to be fine. So at least Vici Gaming don't lose anything in response, but again, it's a smoke where they just don't find anything positive.
Yeah, despite the fact that Vega Squadron are actually in a pretty good setup there between the Cold Embrace and the Winter's Curse, no one really great discipline. He's like, he saw that, he washed his hands of it. He was like, I'm out. I'm not a part of this whatsoever. And that's fine. Like, if a 5-man smoke kills the Night Stalker, that's a 4-position Night Stalker, but you're getting push up in the top lane via your Ember Spirit, and you're farming mid as your SF, that is a fine trade-off. But they don't even get the kill on the SF, or on the Night Stalker, rather.
I mean, at the least they will find the tier 1 by looks of it at the bottom. Yeah, Burning will be able to take some more money into his pocket. And what was that? Was that the... it was the Greaves recipe straight up. So Mag's now got Greaves at 21 minutes in. So these fights, when Vici Gaming try and take them head on 5-on-5 on Vega, they're just going to be infinitely harder. And I appreciate what they've been trying to do with these smokes. They've realized that they can't really just fight when Vega look for the fights themselves. They've got to try and find these solo pickoffs and then try and make something off the, you know, off the back of taking off 1 or 2 heroes away from Vega happening. But it's just not going to happen at this point. It's getting harder and harder for them. And they've really just got to rely on Super getting that farm and maybe being able to provide something in terms of just later game dominance. But with Vega's progression, it's going to be really hard to do so against.
Now that they've got the Manta style, they have the BKB, the Guardian Greaves on the Darkseer is obviously a big pickup. I actually want to mention something about the Guardian Greaves. Most of the time you see mech into Blink Dagger, but here, because he's facing up against a Silence, it's better for you to have the Guardian Greaves on Darkseer.
Okay, Pasha moving in, he's found Ice. There'll be a very early shallow grave there, and they've got the Void to cancel this one, so Ice isn't getting himself out of there. He'll pop himself into a snowball, but it is only going to prolong the inevitable. He's going to go down, and they're moving in for more. They managed to pick up Femra as well on the Dazzle. And it's an unstoppable streak now for Pasha, and they'll probably get roached off the back of this one as well. And Vici Gaming, 22 minutes in, it definitely feels like they're beginning to crumble against the CIS aggression.
Yeah, Pasha, I think actually had, I mean, it's something small, but he's had really great reads on targeting. First thing he knows, the Tusk is caught. I'm gonna target the ward, the sigil, and take that out because it's really annoying. And then when he notices there's an extra hero, the Dazzle, shows up from long distance. He goes, "That's actually my next target. I'm gonna go for the Dazzle, get that extra kill, and my team can clean up the Tusk." He's targeting, he's been reading these team fights really well and hasn't been caught up in the immediacy of like getting that one kill. He always looks for more. And that's something that's really important on an Ember Spirit whose positioning in team fights is so key.
Oh, look at this aggression. Pasha goes straight up to the high ground. He's been sealed up and he's got the Manta, turns around with the Winter's Curse onto Eyesight Sarge for Shoma. They'll find themselves the Tusk. And now with the Grease Pop, Vega just stand there strong and they hit away the tier 3s. Fortification will come out from Vici Gaming, but they're going to be having to fight without the Tusk for 30 seconds. The chains, they catch onto Fenrir and Burning, holding the back end with the Splinter Blast as well. They're just forcing Vici Gaming back from this defense here. Now with how Super coming in, he drops the Acid Spray, starting to charge up a Concoction as well. He'll chuck it out to no one. Now with the cooldown, the missing back for no one. He's going to be fighting Glimmer caked up here by Solo on the Night Stalker. Now just turn and what? Burning! What are you going to do? He just can't fight up against this amount of damage. He has to get himself out of there. BKB is popped by no one. They're looking to commit, and now with the change onto Super, he gets up one more Concoction, but it's only onto the Illusion, and now the melee racks are down. They'll leave the range racks for the time being, but they found what they were looking for, Vega. And Vici just didn't have an answer or a way to stop that.
First melee racks down by 24 minutes, a very good sign for Vega Squadron. And again, they can still look for a little bit more aggression early on. They can still force more fights, take down the rest of these tier 2s. That's more gold on the map waiting essentially for Vega Squadron to claim. And they can probably push uphill for a second lane of racks because Vici Gaming still aren't ready to go with their stride. They just now got the Manta, but there's still no Octarine on the Alchemist. So you're talking about another 5 minutes at least where the Alchemist needs to farm, and Vega Squadron can take advantage of that fact.
And I mean, you're talking about the fact, like 22 minutes, the fact that Darkseer went for the straight up Greaves. Now he's got a Blink as well after that fight. So this is a man with Blink and Greaves. I mean, Vici Gaming have to be very, very smart about this one if they want to turn it around, because it's getting harder and harder for the side.
That's obviously going to combo exceptionally well with the Winter Wyvern, Winter's Curse, and then if you have a good hold like that, you're going to see potentially lots of damage coming out from our Ember Spirit, whose Battle Fury is not that far away.
Ice, just casually losing half of his health.
The Sage proc.
Oh, and now Pasha's there with the follow-up. He gets tagged in the seals there with the man start. Now the Vacuum Wall gets onto 3, and Vici just have to get themselves the hell out, but they can't. They're going to be getting themselves out in caskets. 2 are dead, 3 are dead on the side of Vici Gaming. And again, some beautiful play from Vega there in the bottom lane. As you said, they get the Sange proc. That allows the Ember to close the gap, jump in, and then it's followed up by the Blink reveal from the Darkseer. And that couldn't have been a better Blink reveal if they'd wished for it. I mean, they get 3 heroes in it, they kill them all, and now they're potentially going to look to take a second set of melee racks.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything Vici. Oh my god, Super just stunned himself. He's dead.
He is. Vacuum. Well, the walk in the vacuum comes there.
I didn't know just something to say about that. Vici, you're just gone.
Yeah. That Vega. Vici are going to have to do something different game 2 for sure. I don't know if this Alchemist strat will work necessarily against this kind of aggression, as he's just not really. He's found the farm, but what's he been able to do to offer to the team when it comes to the need? And that FI's just getting bursted down. He'll drop down a Mystic Flare, but Solo says, hey, is it raining? Because the damage is just negligible at this point. Super gets outstunned. Maybe they can try to, but the cold embrace is there on Solo. Solo's going to be fine. Now the damage from Pasha. Max there in the middle of it. 3 heroes down the moment on the side of Vici, and GG's called. Vega do it 23-6 at 26 minutes in. There's no mercy from the Vega Squadron. And that was pretty much impeccable play there from the side. I don't think Vici knew what hit in that cap.
Go Vega. I mean, they brought the strategy and the aggression that was needed to take on Vici Gaming.
Absolutely.
They gave no one a comfort hero. They established somewhat greedy support that Solo could, move around the map and do work with. And I think this is where Solo goes in 6.85. Rather than the split pushing Lina or Visage, he now plays like the roaming Tusk or Night Stalker that is able to have impact. And obviously, Pasha was doing incredibly well.